Hey everybody, I'm back with another topic I really want to discuss really quick. Something that's kind of spurred in my mind this past weekend and I've been wanting to talk about for a minute. Uh, I think for some instances, Warner Brothers has failed Wonder Woman. Not even with when it comes to the movies, but just as a or even some of the comics have been pretty decent recently, but for outside of that, they have been dropping the ball with literally one of the pillars of the DC universe, the one of the three of the Trinity. Now, I have a lot to say about this, but before I continue, please like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, and let me know what you guys think. And follow me in my various links in the description below, like my Patreon, uh, uh, Twitch, and YouTube channel for more content like this. Now, I, really like Wonder Woman, and honestly, it's kind of boggles the mind. Now, here's why I came up with this whole entire topic. This is where it originated. I was watching this video like some point last week where someone was bringing up an issue about how the amount of stuff, like at least TV shows, Warner Brothers has or DC has been producing as of late, that's just been not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just like you kind of relying on these particular characters and their lore far too much and far too long. I'm referencing the Superman anime or the Superman uh, 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 Superman anime show on Max, which is pretty much based off of like a anime type of thing going on, which is fine. It's been a minute since we had like a honest to goodness Superman show. But then there's the Cape Crusaders, which I made a video about that. Didn't really care for, and they kind of went a little off the rails with it. And then there's the Harley Quinn show, and that's what the video that I was watching was mostly referencing. That they kind of stray way far beyond Harley Quinn's origins and turn to pretty much like an hot top. Like you seen the Harley Quinn show, it's like it's fine. I did enjoy it, but I think I want to say one I was welcome, but I'm just like reaching to the point where it's like you're kind of skewed in a way where it's kind of like you've forgotten the character's origins. It's not really Harley Quinn, but by name at this point. You pretty much turn her into a glorified Deadpool character because DC doesn't know what to do with this character except for making her a Deadpool clone. And it's like you gotta bring her back to, you can keep like her independence thing, but still keep the core of what she was in the Batman animated series. And honestly, she reached a point like Joker where it's like we're flooded with a lot of Harley Quinn stuff, and it's just get like a little done with. Kind of okay, let Harley Quinn rest over here for a while. She's fine. We enjoy her, but it's just okay. We've been using a lot of her since like the first Suicide Squad movie, and since then it's been a lot of Harley Quinn going on. And yes, she's definitely a moneymaker, and the merchandise is like phenomenal. It's probably like right getting close up there to Batman levels of merchandise sales. But it's just she's not. They pretty much turn her into some glorified pillar of the DC universe when she really isn't. It's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And this is why I want to make this video, because while we've been drowning in, Batman or Harley Quinn adjacent to Batman, and then more fairly recently with Superman, it's like, I know James Gunn took over and he's making like Creature Commandos and these other stuff, but it's just kind of strange to me that after the success of the first Wonder Woman movie, I would be and then there's supposed to be like a video game they announced of Wonder Woman in the past, like they announced a couple of years ago. We still haven't heard nothing from that, and it's been, like I said, a couple of years. It's kind of weird. We had all these little, game award shows or like game conferences, and they only just recently announced a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, as long as that's been wafted in the air. And at the same time, we haven't heard anything about the Wolverine game ever since that person kind of leaked, very sensitive information. And I'm pretty sure he got, in trouble legally for that kind of stuff. Whoever that person was, they got busted. Somebody from overseas, I think. But that's another thing that's kind of just lingering in the air. Where the heck has that been for even longer than the Wonder Woman thing? But after, like, oh, we're getting like a Wonder Woman game, that's dope. People were crazy excited because, like, we've got so many Batman games out in the world. We made like a Superman game since like Superman Returns based off the movie. But it's just that you have so many characters in this world that you can fairly easily, if you get like some competent developers or studio heads or somebody to actually put in like the effort in making like a solid content out of any one of these characters. And if they weren't wondering about like, oh, what story could we tell, it's like you literally have years of comic books, so you can just take any one of them and make it into like a solid game or a TV show. And it's like, it's kind of wild to me. We had like a Green Lantern animated series, which was really good, but it's just Wonder Woman has not gotten that same level of attention, which is weird given the fact that she is not only the pillar of the DC universe, right along with Batman and Superman, but she is a trailblazer in terms of being the first female superhero. And like I said earlier, it's kind of crazy to me that, after the success of $1 billion movie, Warner Bros. Be like on their game, like, okay, we need to put out some Wonder Woman stuff right away. Like, I'm pretty sure maybe they was working on a game or coming up with some concepts with the game at the time, or at least around the time of the second movie. But it's like somebody could have start coming up with a Wonder Woman animated show. I had to look it up because maybe they was concerned about like, okay, what's her Rose Gallery? And it's like, it's way more than like the Cheetah or Ares. And thinking about the game, I imagine it's gotta be like a God of War clone kind of situation. Because, you would think like most of her Rose Gallery is just, Greek characters. But no, she has a fair amount of rogues that haven't really been utilized. And speaking of the Harley Quinn show, Dr. Psycho is actually a Wonder Woman rogue, which I did not know until like the second season of Harley Quinn, when I just had to look it up or something like that. And I'm not sure if it was because I could be wrong, because Dr. Psycho only got popular because of the Harley Quinn show, but they made him into like a glorified misogynist But I'm not sure if he was like that, because we look up the wiki, and they can easily change some stuff on the fly. Act like kind of taught us that hard lesson, how quickly they can just rewrite some stuff on the fly when it wasn't true, like probably like a day ago. So, uh, I'm talking about that alien that shouldn't have existed 100 years prior to the prequel series. Forgot the alien Jedi name, but Kadadi Mooney. Yeah, there you go. It's like he said some stuff in the prequels that didn't align for what we saw. Like when he just out of nowhere just shows up when he shouldn't even be born yet. Trying to change his birth date into like coincide with the BS the Acolyte was trying to give us. And I'm not sure if like Dr. Psycho was actually a misogynist, probably just like a generic a-hole, but whatever. But I had to look this up because we should have like some kind of TV show based around Wonder Woman, and a successful one at that. That's like get like some Bruce Timm or these very credited writers that worked on Superman, Batman, and Justice League animated series, or even with those who worked on the Green Lantern animated series, or hell, like don't know why James Gunn didn't have Wonder Woman in his list of TV shows, because probably had to recast the actress in order to make sure everything lines up. Because the Chris Commandos actors are doing voiceover for the show and live action for the film. So you're trying to make everything like 1-to-1. But it's just I would expect like, okay, like we should be on this. So I looked it up, earlier this week. Hold on, I'll show you guys. Hold on. Let me just not too much, but just enough. Look at this. This is Wonder Woman's rogues. There's like a good 30 or so of characters, and only a portion of them are Greek, God related. Some are just like meta-humans or just Earthling, like regular humans. And I don't know if I can go through all of them, but but some of these are like kind of like one and done type of dudes. But a lot of these characters could easily be villains in their own right. I was like, what is this? Like Abeloth, just like some kind of an assassin. I wish they show their powers really quick. Aegis or Aegis. Was a terrorist and assassin deployed by Belithaphron to destroy Paradise Island. He was given the mythical horse Pegasus and several of Zeus's thunderbolts in his mission to get rid of Amazons. Although he proved a powerful enemy, he was eventually defeated by Wonder Woman and retreated to Mount Olympus, where Mars bestowed upon him new weapons. Andreas Codulo, fanatical servant of the plant god. Now you're gonna attempt that. Codulo abducted several young women, forcing them to serve the plant god in an attempt to become the living embodiment of this god, and planned to use them as sacrifice. And utilize Steve Trevor a little bit more. It's pretty much like, Wonder Woman's Lois Lane kind of person, but more active. See, I've seen the Angleman in Batman Brave and the Bold at least a couple of times. Did not know he was a Wonder Woman villain. Okay. Possess an object known as Angler, which can alter objects and locations according to the holder's wishes, sometimes defying gravity or through teleportation. Uh, was an unsuccessful criminal who became obsessed with crimes with unbeatable angles. He played Wonder Woman with a series of increasingly clever schemes that involved angles. It is unclear whether or not he had an Earth 2 counterpart. Uh, uh, it's like Arch is like a Greek character. One one of Kronos' children, god of strategy. He gave Devastation the gift of a strategic mind. So, like a Greek character with enhanced intellect and strategies. Somebody like Wonder Woman, who's a warrior, can like we'll have a tough time dealing with a character who's like the ultimate strategist. Of course, Ares, we already know about him, Greek god of war. Armageddon, for reasons that are still classified by the U.S. government, nothing is known about the background of the Nazi agent code name Armageddon. Oh wow, he's literal Nazi. Small axe, multiple firearms. Highly trained operative wearing a distinctive costume with a cunning mind and a working knowledge of firearms and other weaponry. He first came to publication during World War II. Astarte. Astarte was thought to be an alien warrior. She traveled in her silver snake across the universe, searching for a specific person. That person turned out to be Wonder Woman, and when she encountered the Amazons, she immediately attacked. However, after witnessing Wonder Woman's heroic deeds, Astarte realized she was wrong and apparently offed herself. Wonder Woman, confused by the situation, had her mother Hippolyte inspect the remains of Astarte. Hippolyte's appearance triggered Astarte's return, and she attacked a group of Amazons in outer space. Hippolyte eventually realized that Astarte was the spirit of Diana, Hippolyte's sister, who had been killed by Hercules before the Amazons founded Paradise Island. Backstabber. At present, not much has been revealed about the man calling himself Backstabber due to the court order to protect his family from suffering repercussions from his actions. It is known that he is a veteran bodybuilder with a muscular physique and that he is not averse to using his muscles for criminal endeavors. He became Backstabber after being hired by the White Magician to become a supervillain for the express purposes of slaying Wonder Woman, who had begun to investigate the magician's illegal activities. Through the magician's supernatural powers, he gained a measure of superhuman strength and the ability to form his hands into sharp blades. Backstabber then became one of several magically empowered villains who were used to fight Wonder Woman. Baron Blitzkrieg, a Prussian nobleman who was a favorite of Hitler and was made a concentration camp commandant. A ruthless administrator, he incurred the hatred of his prisoners and was one day assaulted by a recently arrived inmate. A vial of acid was thrown in his face, destroying his features. Hitler ordered his top surgeons to repair the damage the best they could. Then, hoping to compensate for the facial damage, Hitler had his scientists execute a long developed plan that tapped to Commandant's latent psychic powers. Strength, optic energy beams, flight, psychic, enhanced agility. So, of course, Wonder Woman was like created during the time of WWE too. So, of course, there's going to be like a few uh, villains from the uh, Germany that she have as an antagonist. Bwando, as a bounty hunter, a self-proclaimed warrior available for hire, equipped with teleportation device strapped to his chest. I thought it was a woman. Bwando quotes Sun Tzu Art of War in battle. He also carries a sword and wears a face covering with red lens goggles. His attire consists of a Nobakama with sleeveless armor top revealing his arm tattoos. He's one of several assassins hired by Hamilton Revere to capture Wonder Woman alive for the use of medical research, but he is quickly subjugated by Etta Candy. Black Fu. That sounds racist in his own right. Blue Snowman, it's like, Captain Nonsense. We want to skip those. Captain Wonder. Captain Wonder, Dr. Psycho discovered he could use a strange substance form of ectoplasm and materialize it on Earth in whatever form he willed. He eventually discovered he could use Steve Trevor with the substance. After capturing Trevor, he used a machine to draw ectoplasm from Trevor's mind in the form of Trevor's idealized superpowered fantasy image of himself. Dr. Psycho inhabited the ectoplasmic form and battled Wonder Woman using the name Captain Wonder. Captain Wonder attacks Wonder Woman repeatedly and teams up with fellow Wonder Woman foe Silver Swan. After Captain Wonder, Psycho fell in love with Swan, an ugly young woman whom Mars had transformed into a superpowered beauty. Captain Wonder helps the Swan rope in Wonder Woman. They opt to take the captive heroine to the White House and kill her before the eyes of the President of the United States. But Mars appears to the Swan and demands that she order Captain Wonder to send the robot plane crashing into the White House and thus murder the President. However, Steve Trevor awakens from Dr. Psycho's spell and is able to break Psycho's ability to maintain his Captain Wonder persona. Psycho crashes to Earth and unharmed, and Wonder Woman is able to break free. Both Captain Wonder and Silver Swan were defeated by Wonder Woman and eventually reverted back to their original forms. Captain Wonder returned for one more battle against Wonder Woman, participating in a battle arranged behind the scenes by the Monitor as one of the tests he launched to prepare for the coming multiversal crisis. Captain Wonder appeared late one night in a Pentagon storage facility encountering the Angleman, Silver Swan, and the Cheetah. Captain Wonder teams up with the villains against Etta Candy, whom they wrongly believe is Wonder Woman. They were defeated when Etta Candy used Dr. Psycho's ectoplasmitron to create for herself a superpower identity based on Wonder Woman. Don't know how much they can use that. Cassandra is a demigod, child of Zeus, and a mortal woman who was born with the ability to control the wills of others using her voice. Cassandra was raised alone by her mother, who died after Cassandra ordered her mother to commit, deleting for her, telling her what she could not do. Discovering her mother had actually died, Cassandra quickly realized that she had a gift and was placed into an orphanage. Refusing to speak since the death of her mother, Lennox eventually found the young Cassandra and took her under his wing. At one point, she had 40 people murder each other using her hypnotic voice, but had her throat ripped open by Lennox as retaliation. Cat Eye, bounty hunter who appears in the guise of a feline. She claims to be born of the river Nile in Egypt as an incarnation of Bastet, goddess of cats. She appears to be human, wearing a full-body leotard that exposes only the skin around her mouth. Her suit is white with black stripes. Cat Eye is one of several assassins hired by Hamilton Revere to capture Wonder Woman alive for medical research. Okay. The Crimson Cavalier? I thought this was like a Batman rogue. Mortimer Drake was a Gotham City millionaire of exotic and idealistic taste. When he found himself unable to purchase more exotic valuables for his collection legally, he resorted to theft. Donning a costume resembling that of a musketeer, he called himself the Cavalier. His course of action ultimately brought him into conflict with Batman. I don't even know want to count this guy, but you could. Of course, you know about the Cheetah, Cheshire, because Cheetah could be like the Joker or Lex Luthor for any TV show for Wonder Woman. So we can like put that on hold and kind of focus on other cool, lesser known characters Wonder Woman can face. As well as like Cheetah and Ares should be like put off for later. If you want to make a show about Wonder Woman, those two got to be put off for later, for like season 2 or 3. Cheshire is an assassin who has been trained since her childhood. She has often been a foil for the Titans, having served with several villainous teams. She is one of several assassins hired by, Hamilton. She claims to forget who hired her, but also boasts of how much money she's going to make taking Wonder Woman down with an Amazon strength sedative she had recently purchased. Okay. Crime Doctor. Is that the Plague Doctor? Uh, like no, I'm thinking of Doctor Poison from the movie. Crime Doctor. Anika Black Sescu, a Romanian widow and survivor of the Ceausescu regime, is the second crime doctor. During the storyline Rise of Olympians, she became a member of the secret side of the supervillains. She sews Wonder Woman's lasso of truth into Genocide's back, granting considerable skills. Kronos, Circe, ancient, nearly immortal sorceress of incredible power over 1,200 years, over 1,200 years BC. Circe was a princess of Colchis, but according to her own words, her subjects objected to her killing her weak husband. Driven out of the kingdom, she found refuge on a small island, Aya, and began to accumulate considerable magical power. But it was limited to the island. She used the sirens to lure seafarers to the island, but it was not enough for her lust for power. The goddess Hecate would answer her prayers, desiring for Circe to be the instrument of Hecate's own revenge against the Greek gods. She made Circe a proposition: immortality, eternal beauty, and incredible power in exchange for her soul. Hecate's soul would go to Circe. Circe agreed, and after the exchange, Hecate's body was destroyed. But before she died, the goddess gave a prophecy, upon the death of which and the birth of which Hecate, by name and choice, shall repossess her soul. So, yeah. This one's powers is like insane. She's pretty much like a magic user, a demigoddess, if you will. Sorcery, projective, animal metamorphosis. Her most known and main feat was to turn objects and people alike into various sorts of animals. She prefers to transform men into various animals. Some of her victims have become pigs, monkeys, large cats, boars, and even birds, and have retained their ability to think and sometimes even speak. Matter transformation, reality alteration, immortality, altered minds, geokinesis, magic blast, magic shields, audiokinesis, clairvoyance, illusion casting, teleportation, necromancy, superhuman strength, and durability. She was in Justice League anime series. cyborg girl. Latonia Charles destroyed her body with the drug known as tar, but her aunt Sarah Charles saved her niece from death with powerful cybernetic implants, which maintains cybernetic components of the superhero Cyborg. I'm shocked this is not a Cyborg villain, because don't you know Cyborg even have his own particular rogues outside of something the Titans battled. However, instead of using her new gain abilities for good, she has decided to serve her own selfish desires and become a supervillain, coming into conflict with Wonder Woman. These implants replace much of Latanya's humanity with hardware, which could be the reason why Latanya has yet to use her new lease on life for anything other than personal gain. Dark Angel. The bringer of doom, known as Dark Angel, has long bedeviled humans foolish enough to summon her. During WW2, Baroness Paula von Gunther called forth the wandering evil spirit, who then took over von Gunther's body and attacked Wonder Woman and the Justice Society with her mythical might. Hippolyta battled Dark Angel on many occasions, and eventually Dark Angel appeared on Themyscira. She had intended to kidnap Princess Diana, but instead kidnapped her magical double. She forced the double, whom she thought was Diana, to live thousands of lifetimes, each one ending in tragedy. She hoped the cumulative effect would drive Hippolyta insane. Instead, the double was able to grow stronger and finally become an independent entity known as Donna Troy. Oh, so that's how Donna Troy's origins started. Oh, that's a fun fact for me. Didn't know that about Donna Troy. Darkman is a sadistic minion of the Morrigan who had once been a government agent. He was burnt to near death but was saved by the Morrigan in exchange for his servitude. He slaughtered the Amazons of Themyscira, including Queen Hippolyta. Later, during a battle with Wonder Woman, Hippolyta returned and took her revenge on the Darkman, carrying him back into the flames with her. Right, these seems like very powerful characters. Decay. To win the approval of his father Ares, it looks like a woman here. Phobos, god of fear, journeyed to the cavern of Gorgons, where he modeled a statuette from malevolent matter scoured from Medusa's heart. He then arranged for the item to be delivered to the Capitolis residence, where Diana was rooming as she oriented herself to the world of men. As Phobos arranged, the statuette named Decay came to life, forcibly aged young Vanessa Capitolis by decades, and then destroyed the house in her first attempt to kill Diana. Following that, Decay gleefully went on a destructive rampage in the city of Boston with Diana in pursuit. After a dangerous battle, which had Wonder Woman age as a result, Diana realized the proper way to defeat the monster. She snared Decay in her lasso of truth, which is also tied to renewing power of Gaia, goddess of the earth. Bombarded with this power, Decay was reduced to dust, while Diana's youth was restored. A short time later, Diana obtained a magic ointment to restore Vanessa's youth as well. So it's kind of like that, like Blackout from the Ghost Rider 2 film. Deimos, born of the union of Ares and Aphrodite, Deimos was a crafty and influential minor god who had received his father's favor. So this is another, God, that's a stupid outfit. So just another Greek god. She looks familiar. Devastation. The mythological titan Kronos swallowed almost all his children, including previously unknown gods named Titan, Oblivia, Disdain, Arch, Slaughter, and Harrier. He did this out of fear that his children would rise up against him and dethrone him. These unknown gods became a new pantheon, which he used to destroy various gods on his new ascension to power. One obstacle Kronos came to know was the champion of Olympus, Wonder Woman. In order to defeat the Amazon, Kronos devised a plan to create a dark mirror image of Wonder Woman, who he could call as a champion of his own. Similar to Diana, Kronos formed the image of a child out of Themysciran clay. He breathed life into it and called her Diva. He then had his dark children each bless the new creation with evil gifts. Thus, Devastation possessed each of Wonder Woman's abilities, but with a dark twist to them. So that is a very cool character, because I don't know, it's like you got these shows like, Percy Jackson show with all of these Greek characters and stuff like that. You can easily, like, it doesn't need to be live action, but you can easily make an animated show with Diana, with Kronos being like an overarching villain, but like the biggest bad guy. Like if this carries on for like, I don't know, 3-4 seasons, Kronos should be like the ultimate one that Diana, like, ultimately has to take down, and he's like looming in the background, making all these machinations, and creating somebody like Devastation to be something like, like one of Diana's biggest heavy hitters. That's a cool idea. Disdain, another Kronos children. So that's another thing. It's like you want to make like a society of villains for Wonder Woman. There's plots against Wonder Woman. You can have the children of Kronos. Dr. Cyber. Just another like cybernetic villain. Dr. Domino. Leader of a group of international criminals attempting to acquire a toxin for which no defense exists. Domino's men kidnap Morgan Tracy from the United Nations building. So he's just like a regular criminal with a domino for a head. I thought it was some kind of unique gimmick. That's why he does it. Okay, Dr. Poison, we know from the Wonder Woman film. Dr. Psycho, we're pretty much familiar with him. He's just like a psychic, person. Dreadnought, thug of a mob to rise through the ranks when he is accepted a power up from the White Magician. White Magician is another villain. Egg Fu. He was a Chinese communist agent, inexplicably shaped like an egg the size of a house, with a Charlie Chan-like speech pattern, who used his mustaches as whips against his enemies. Now, it's kind of like, like MODOK kind of situation going on here. And I think you can utilize a character like this, because I'm pretty sure when he was first introduced was kind of, some racial stereotypes going on at the time. But you can like play this legitimately. You can still have like, an Asian person play this character, and just be like the MODOK of DC Universe. Strife, Evilus, Uriel, Firstborn, according to him, the Firstborn was the very first child of Zeus and Hera. On the day of his birth, a prophecy was recited that someday he would sit upon the throne of his father with the rest of the family as corpses around him. To prevent this from coming to pass, Zeus left the baby in a vault in Africa to die. But the baby did not die. Using his nascent power, he commandeered a pack of hyenas to bring it food. It grew to adulthood and became strong. For thousands of years, he has walked the earth trying to earn the love and respect of his distant father, while also seeking ways to destroy him. Once again, cool idea. Genocide. Understanding that the society needed a major weapon strong enough to kill members of the Justice League, Dr. Barbara Minerva, Cheetah, agreed to use a plan initially thought of by team member T.O. Morrow. She had Dr. Morrow gather the scientists within the team to collect soil samples for various regions of Earth where acts of genocide took place over the past 100 years. From 1908 to 2008, they used the soil to empower the dead body of Wonder Woman stolen from the future to create the sadist villain Genocide, which was brought to life through a combination of science and the magic of Felix Faust. Dr. Minerva initially set Genocide loose at a shopping mall in downtown Washington, D.C. To draw the Justice League's attention, the Department of Meta-Human Affairs dispatched a team of agents, which included Agent Diana Prince, to investigate the disturbance. After changing into her superpower alter ego, Genocide beat Wonder Woman to the point of near death and stole her lasso of truth. After having the lasso surgically grafted into her body by the crime doctor, Genocide was sent to the home base of DMA to retrieve the captive Dr. Psycho. She slaughtered nearly everyone there before being attacked by the Justice League, and she quickly defeated Green Lantern, John Stewart, Firestorm, and Red Tornado. Powers strength, teleportation, invulnerability, healing, speed, creates an aura of despair, hate, and rage in the general vicinity. Okay, Genocide locations. The known soil samples Genocide was created with were taken from Auschwitz, Logar Jasnovic, Croatia, Darfur, Sudan, Rwanda, and Cambodia. Yep, that'll do it. Of course, Hades, Giganta, size alteration lady that you see from the Justice League show, Grail, daughter of Darkseid. I've been reading up on recent Wonder Woman for at least a good year, and some dude from Washington with some machinations gathered some Wonder Woman rogues together, including Grail, who was the last one to actually go up against Wonder Woman, and it was like a long drag out fight, around the Washington Monument, where these two just was slugging it out. It was just like a drag out, beat out fight, kind of like Beerus and Goku going at it kind of thing. It was just like devastating. Like that's like a fight I want to see in an animated format or live action, better yet. Just Wonder Woman at her peak, just wailing on a child of Darkseid. You know how powerful Darkseid is. This is his daughter, mind you, and she just like, and like, spoiler, it kind of ends with kind of like them just both get tired out because there's this like roughly evenly match, and they just both was carrying up for like hours and hours and hours, and they both just kind of like just passed out. And it ends in a draw. That's how strong Grail is. That is dope. Okay, the Hecate, Jinx, from Teen Titans. Jinx thought was a Teen Titans villain, but it's actually a Wonder Woman villain. Plastique, criminal with the who's like a explosives expert, Maxwell Lord, and his daughter Lyra Lyre, both psychic users. One of them deals with a lot of psychic users in her rogues. Uh, Trinity, Titan, uh, Zara, the White Magician, Veronica Kale, another kind of like the Lex Luthor type for Wonder Woman. Silver Swan, yeah. From what I've understand, Silver Swan is just like a woman like just obsessed with Wonder Woman, to the point of like a toxic fan base type of thing going on, where she loves and hates her at the same time because Wonder Woman won't give her all the attention and like that kind of like obsession that she's craving. White Magician. The White Magician was born Asquith Randall and claims to have been president for the creation of the United States of America. He also claims that Thomas Jefferson is one of his descendants. In the 1940s, he was known as Mr. Magic. In the 60s, he's altered his name to White Sorcerer. 70s, he became a founding member of now forgotten superhero team Echoes of Justice. Later in the 80s, he finally established the White Magician as his permanent title. Other names he's gone under are He Who Laughs, the Sterling Seer, and Jeremiah. Retiring from being a full-time crime fighter, he settled into a classic mansion in Boston, Massachusetts. Sometime between his early years as a hero to present day, the White Magician became power mad, often resorting to more sinister means of increasing his magical abilities as his magic began to wane with age. Wanting to surround himself with influential people, the White Magician began an affair with Cassie Arnold, a well-known television reporter for Boston Eyewitness News, when he first encountered Wonder Woman, who had recently become a resident of Boston as well. Diana was repulsed by the White Magician's elitist point of view, racism, and self-righteous attitude. Realizing that Wonder Woman could potentially be a thorn in his side, he helped cause a battle between the Amazon and the dark being Eclipso. In that altercation, he had hoped to control and channel their power into his own, leaving him to not only be more powerful, but also the only super being left in Boston. High-level sorcerer capable of using his magic in various effects. He's several hundred years old and casts an eternal youth spell on himself so that his true age can never be revealed. In his demonic form, he had the physical strength, size, and power of a High Lord demon with large claws for hands. So yeah, I mean, like, and also Neuron, who's pretty much DC's version of. Well, I argue there's still like Lucifer Morningstar that is the DC, like from the Netflix Fox show, who's like the DC version of the devil, but this guy Neuron is kind of like Mephisto for DC, where he could be like a devil-like figure, but donning like a super villain garb to kind of fit the world he's living in, essentially. His powers are virtually limitless. He has raised the dead, warped reality, and increased scores of supervillains' powers. He was responsible for the death of Wonder Woman before, which led to her ascension as a goddess of truth. So yeah. So I just quickly wanted to touch on the kind of rogues that, if you want to make like, because it wasn't that hard for me to look up a rogues gallery for Wonder Woman. It's like 30 plus that you can choose from, and I already gave like good examples of plot that you can work with when it comes to a Wonder Woman show, because it's kind of crazy to me that it's like there wasn't that energy, because they wasted so much energy on Batman characters, and I'm including Harley Quinn in that. And although she's, a fun character, although I argue they kind of stray too far from Harley Quinn's roots, they put too much energy into her, or even by extension the Suicide Squad. It's like, why are you giving so much energy to characters that, yeah, sure, they had two, Suicide Squad had 2 movies and 1 animated movie, 2 live action and 1 animated movies, and one very recently a anime based around the Suicide Squad. And I was like, oh my God. And Harley Quinn is at the center of it for the most part. And it's like, okay, you put too much in, yes, give the Suicide Squad, like, they had their time in the sun for at least a couple of movies now. Now let's move on to other lesser known characters, or characters that haven't got a fair shake yet, so they can like get some airtime. Like Wonder Woman, who arguably has not got that much love since her movies. It's weird to me. If you had like a big grossing movie, now's the time to strike while the iron's hot and roll out. Like, get some people like Bruce Timm. Can you get us some like Wonder Woman shows like on the docket or something, like get whomever writer or like developer or whomever, and get to work on some kind of Wonder Woman shows, and like get some fan base going. You don't necessarily have to, because people think like, oh, all her villains are just Greek gods. It was just a carbon copy of God of War. So the F what? Let her tangle. Matter of fact, not only that, like God of War, she doesn't have to necessarily deal with her own pantheon, because one of her villains is dressed like, is an Egyptian dressed like Bastet. She can deal with other kind of demigods from other pantheons if you wanted to. There's no limit for what you can do with Wonder Woman. She, I argue, is just as versatile as Superman and Batman if you actually put your mind to it. And it's just like, I don't understand why I'm pretty sure there's people out there in the world will love this, but nobody in Hollywood is actually putting this energy into her, which she deserves. It is wild to me. And that's why I bring it back to my initial title of my, query. Warner Brothers has failed Wonder Woman because she has so much to offer, and yet you give so little crap about. And I don't even care if like the sequel wasn't successful, and yet it has its problems. But that does not neglect that you had like an awesome casting of Diana. You could have had Gal Gadot voice, Wonder Woman in various shows that's all about her, and not just her being just part along the Justice League or the Justice League Darker or anything like that. No, she has her own. Yeah, sure, you can still have cameos from other superheroes helping her deal with certain villains of the week or something like that, like teaming up with like Cyborg, dealing with this cyborg lady here, or teaming up with Aquaman, dealing with a particular Greek character, because Atlantis is technically falls in the same line as Greek, given like they kind of worship Poseidon in a way, I think. But it's just like you can have them work in tandem with each other. That is very feasible. But I that's just like, it's kind of strange to me. And she's not the only one. Like I said, like you can make a show about like Teen Titans got their airtime pretty much, but you can dedicate maybe they worry about what characters can carry a show on their own. Like, I don't know, have some writers give a damn and the people will come. If you put that same kind of energy like you have been with Batman, and with those kind of writers that you put into Batman and Harley Quinn, they can produce some good stuff with like a show about with the Beast Boy at the center, or a show with Nightwing just at the center, a show with The Question, or Mr. Terrific, or Booster Gold, Blue Beetle. You can do it. You just got to get some people who are competent, well versed, or people who are hungry in the industry to actually, give it their all, without also pandering at the same time. Because, just have like a good story, build the characters from the ground up, with some layers to the characters, and people will be drawn to it, and you'll have a good, brand new, I don't say brand new IP, but you can have some brand new shows to put out, and people will love you for it because you're pretty much not relying on Batman characters as a crutch to pretty much hold up this series. Sure, you got Doom Patrol and like Teen Titans Go and things like that. So, but try to build up your portfolio a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, that was pretty much what I want to talk about, because I think that, no pun intended, there's an injustice here when it comes to Wonder Woman. And she is like an awesome character in her own right. And here's the thing I just now thought of, because I'm worried about if that is a show about Wonder Woman, there is a worry, given how there's activists in certain writers' rooms in Hollywood, they will end up turning Wonder Woman in like this super ultra man-hating feminist. And it's like, please try to contain yourself. Yes, Wonder Woman would fight, don't just fight for women, but she fights for everybody. But she is somebody women would look up to. I just, and fight for women's advocacy and everything like that. And her being charming, because one of the most charming things I've seen Wonder Woman do, I think they kind of took that from a comic book, but I saw it from like an animated film. I forgot which one, where there was people protesting outside of like the White House or something like that, and one of these guys was, being like a big loudmouth idiot, and one woman put her lasso of truth around this guy and asked him, she asked him something, and then he just, just admits that he likes wearing Wonder Woman merchandise, because it makes him feel powerful, and before Wonder Woman walks away, she was like, yeah, it makes me feel powerful too. It's like, yes, that is so charming. That is Wonder Woman. She's not like no man hating thing. She's, understanding. She makes people come together. It's like not that dissimilar to Superman. And matter of fact, the first movie with Gal Gadot portrays the integrity and ethos of Wonder Woman pitch perfectly. It's like right on point. That is Wonder Woman. I do not want any kind of feminist, ultra feminist, I should say, rhetoric just permeating, spewing out of her mouth. She, it's like, no, like she loves everybody. She's all about truth and love. Not just women be better than the men kind of attitude. I do not want that kind of mindset, because that wouldn't be Wonder Woman to me, at least to me. Anyway, that is pretty much like, it's going on more than an hour. It's longer than I thought it would be. But I just had so much to say about this, because I really like this character. She's one of the best characters in comic book history, and she deserves everybody's freaking respect, especially Warner Bros. Of all people. But anyway, I will see you guys a little bit later. I'll be getting back to playing more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and some Black Myth Wukong. And yeah, and then next week I will be getting back to some Overwatch 2 because they have a new, not only the Halloween event will start, but also there will be My Hero Academia skins that I really wanted to get. I missed out on the Cowboy Bebop skins, which still irks me, but I'm not missing out on My Hero Academia because after I'm done with reviewing all the last two seasons of Batman Brave and the Bold, I'll be moving back into anime and reviewing. Because I already reviewed season 1 of My Hero Academia, I'll be reviewing the rest of the seasons of My Hero Academia moving forward. So look out for that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. What should they do with Wonder Woman in terms of how to make a TV show, or what plot they can use, what characters should they use that is like a good foil for Wonder Woman. And anyway, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Peace.